I love dragons, especially when they are good, but also when they are standing on the side of the bad guys. I adore them because I am so impressed by those creatures. In Tolkien's universe are existing many dragons. The most popular I think is Smaug, also due to movie adaptations of The Hobbit. Smaug is a fire drake, but who was the first dragon ever that attacked his foes with fire? You're getting the answer in this video. Let's begin. The first and biggest of the Uroloki, the fire drakes, in the Tolkien universe is Glaurung, also known as the father of all dragons. His name is probably Sindarin for golden shadow. He is described to have a snake-like body covered by scales which had a golden color. Glaurung was the result of experiments made by Morgoth, who wanted to increase the strength of his armies after he had suffered many defeats at the hands of the Noldor. He first appeared in the year 260 of the First Age for attacking the elves during the siege of Angband. He burned and devastated Ardgalan, the elven land in Dorthonion and Hithlum. But at that time, Glaurung hadn't reached his full strength yet, and the armor of his scales was still vulnerable, so Fingon was able to drive him back with the help of his archers. Morgoth, however, was not so pleased by Glaurung showing himself before he has been fully grown, for that the Dark Lord wanted him to be a complete surprise. To the dragon himself, the attack was only a youthful testing of his strength. For the following 2 centuries, Glaurung was kept in Angband until the Dagor Bragollach, the fourth of the battles of Beleriand, and not called without reason the Battle of Sudden Flame. Now fully grown, Glaurung led the forces of Morgoth to the battlefield against the elves of Beleriand. Due to his strength, no one could withstand him and the Balrogs at his side. With the dragon's strength, Morgoth's forces were able to break the siege of Angband. In the 5th battle, the Nirnaeth Arnoediad, he caused even more destruction, for that he was followed by a brood of lesser dragons. They entered the battle in the early morning of the 3rd day, after Morgoth loosed his last strength against Turgon, Fingon and Maedhros. No one, neither elf nor man, could withstand the fire of the dragons. But the dwarven lord Atsakal wounded his belly, so Glaurung had to leave the field. After the Nirnaeth Arnoediad, the Battle of Unnumbered Tears, Glaurung was ordered to complete the sack of Nargothrond, the elven realm established by Finrod Felagund and now led by his younger brother Orodha. Once Morgoth did not know where the kingdom was located, but then Turin Turambar, son of Húrin, convinced the elves to build a bridge across the Nagor. So Nargothrond's location was revealed. It was easy for Glaurung and the orcs to destroy Nargothrond and to slay the forces of the elves. There Glaurung faced Turin and froze him with his yellow-orange eyes, while Finduilas, daughter of Orodhes, was captured. When all the captives were brought away, Glaurung released Turin and gave him a choice. Or he can go and rescue Finduilas, who was the only one who could save Turin from his fate, or he could go to Dor-lómin, where his mother and his sister were suffering. Turin chose the latter, but it was a trick, for that Morwen and her daughter lingered safe in Doriath. Then Glaurung took all of Finrod's treasures, hoarded them within the caves, and stayed there for guarding them, until he heard that Morwen and Nienor left Doriath to search for the rest of their family. Glaurung faced Nienor in the forest and bewitched her. She lost her mind and all of her memories. She even forgot her name. Then she ran through the forest like a deer and later was found crying at Finduilas' grave by Turin, whom she married without knowing that he is her brother. They lived 3 years with the folk of Brandir. During this time, Glaurung started to attack the areas around their new home, which moved Turin to kill the dragon. With 2 men by his side, he went out against Glaurung, but only Turin faced a fire drake and killed him with his sword, Gurthang, which once was called Anglahel, forged by Eel the Dark Elf. Turin, touched by Glaurung's blood, fainted and was then found by Nienor, or Niniel as he called her. With his last breath, Glaurung gave Nienor her memory back. Then he died in the year 499 of the First Age. The end of the story of Nienor and Turin, however, is subject for another video. Now, how do you think would the story of Beleriand have been without Glaurung? Write it in the comments. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you all very much for watching, and until next time.